world moves fast. Your workday? Even faster. Pitching products, drafting reports, analyzing data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant for work. Built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft 365 apps you use. Helping you quickly write, analyze, create, and summarize. So you can cut through clutter and clear a path to your best work. Learn more at Microsoft.com/M365 Copilot.
Welcome back to The Case For with Chris Cox, the pretend procedural that's set not in the court of the last resort, but rather in the court of the Disney World Resort. This is the podcast where theme park expert Len Testa and mind reader Chris Cox typically debate about some of the most trivial aspects of vacationing in Orlando, but not this time, because this is our listener mail show where we share what you folks have sent along, your opinions of the most recent episodes of this podcast. I am the less than honorable James Robespierre Hill, and I have to say, what I love about these particular episodes, well, they give me the opportunity to let my hair down.
Which you could do if you still had hair, Jim.
But also get out from behind the bench.
Whoa, trousers! Your Honor, trousers! How many times have we got to have this discussion?
If you look closely.
Which none of us want to do. Okay.
Oh.
You'll see that I actually am wearing pants. Well, shorts. Actually.
Yeah, very short shorts. Look, I don't think it's ever wise to show that much thigh in public, especially ones that pasty. Dear Lord. Your parents, were they Morlocks?
Only on my mother's side. And I'll have you know that these are official government-length shorts. These are what members of the U.S. Postal Department are allowed to wear during the summer months when they go on their appointed rounds.
But Jim, this is February, so why are you wearing those shorts?
Well, as it turns out, there is actually a judicial arm of the U.S. postal system, and I was thinking I might pick up a few extra shifts over there at JOD.
JOD, what's that?
The Judicial Officers Department. They're the folks who get called in if there are ever any conflicts between mail carriers.
This is so that you go postal on them before they go postal on each other. It had to be said.
Okay. Quick follow-up question then. Does the JOD then follow the official US Post Office credo? You know the one. Neither rain nor sleet nor snow nor hail will prevent these couriers from the swift completion of their appointed rounds.
Nicely said, by the way, but geez, I hope not.
And why?
Because Jim doesn't like to get wet. He's kind of like a cat in that way. I've seen him refuse to go outside when there's a heavy mist.
Ah, cat like that explains all the tongue baths.
What? What's that?
Nothing, Your Honor. Let's get to some listener mail, shall we? We've got lots of episodes to go through. There's After Hours, there's Butterbeer, there's Park Entrances, and there's another one I forgot, so that'll be a surprise for us all when we get there.
All right, why don't we start with After Hours, Chris?
Okay, Heather Knoll got in touch, and loads of people got in touch, by the way, on the Touring Plan forums, where there are polls for a lot of these things, so thanks to everyone who's been doing that. You can get in touch there. I think it's forum.touringplans.com, Len, is that right? Or is it forums with an S?
It is, that's correct.
Singular,
it's
just
forum.
the one. Good to know. So Heather Knoll says, talking about the After Hours events, for After Hours, she separates parties from the regular season After Hours. And she's done both Jollywood and Hollywood Studios and thinks that the Jollywood one is 100% worth it. It's her favourite thing to do. Yeah. Bands, DJs, unique character meets, high energy special event. And she's not the person who can pass up a photo op with Santa Duffy, the Mandalorian and the Magic Shop with the Muppets. She loved all the specialty food and cocktails and thinks it's well worth the extra cost. However, she says that the After Hours event is nice and they bring out special characters and a good thing to do in lieu of a park day, as you can stay until park close. And she did the math and it worked out for her, especially factoring the cost of not needing Lightning Lane.
Interesting.
Oh, that's fantastic. I totally agree on Jollywood Nights. I went to this one last year in 2025. And it was fantastic. I think it's my favorite party as well.
Okay, I have to admit though that I do really enjoy, and Mickey's Very Merry, the parade. When you factor in the Snope and the light crowds and that sort of thing. But I especially like the idea of swapping this out for an actual day in the park.
Principal Tinker said as well that they did years ago a After Hours event at Animal Kingdom. I don't think they do them anymore. And they said they had a nighttime daytime safari and nighttime show, but didn't think that one was worth it, but really likes the ones at Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom.
Oh, I remember the Sunset Safari. That was remember, Jim. They had these basically giant Sony televisions. I don't know if it was Sony, but giant Sony LED TVs lining the savannah to simulate sunset.
It was a touch surreal. I mean, in fact, even, didn't they actually have to bring in extra animals because they could not disrupt the programming or the training that the A team, so to speak, had? Because, what is it? They're trained. It's 5:00. I go. And, so.
Bring in first cover giraffe.
There we go.
Exactly.
There we go.
The giraffe understudy. Yeah, I remember they said they spent something like a year acclimating the animals to the effects of the light. So they gradually turned the light on for 30 seconds a day or whatever, and then kept it going on into past dusk. So they train the animals for well longer than the time it takes to install the LED lights themselves, which is really interesting. Wow. And then it just went away.
I mean, I think in the end, the disruption to and that's what I heard was it was the pushback from the curators of the actual animals, to the effect of, it's just the effect of, look, long range, the fact that we have to get these things dressed in bathrobes and hand them cups of coffee and then push them out the door, just
that union is excellent.
Work. There we go.
The secret one we forgot about was the snack credits, and we talked about snack credits in a recent episode. And actually, there was a poll done, and I can give you the results of the poll before we get into some listener feedback. And out of the poll, 67%, which is the highest percentage, said they never used the Disney dining plan. 15% said they're able to get their money's worth from snack credits. 11% said other, don't know what that means, and 7% said they usually waste snack credits. So most people are just not dining plan fans.
It's really interesting. I'm assuming the other is sometimes we were able to get our money's worth, and sometimes we're not.
Yeah, or sometimes we get it, sometimes we don't. We'll get it if it's free, that type of thing.
Right. Still twice as many people saying they're able to get their money's worth from snack credits. And I think that's the important thing there is we didn't ask them, are you able to save money?
Yes, of course.
Right?
Would you have bought them if you weren't using credits?
Right. And then is did you would you have bought them, right? And then did you get if you paid $7 for a snack, did you get $7 worth of value from it?
Yeah. Lady Rapunzel had a good comment. She said, when I visited as a kid, my aunt always got the Disney dining plan, and she would talk about food as if it was free, and all she had to do was sign on the dotted line, which is a really nice thing as a kid to sort of see that and be like, oh yeah, good. And Lady Rapunzel then goes on saying, as an adult, I wonder if she understood how money works at all.
I was listening to you read this comment, Chris, and when you started with when I visited as a kid with my aunt, always got the dining plan. I remember when the dining plan was launched, and now I think I can hear my bones actually creaking as I'm sitting in this chair. Yeah, all right.
Felice Lachisis, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, says that she gets the feeling that Disney doesn't want people to use the dining plan, but have it around because people might complain otherwise. But they think the way it's priced and laid out, they just don't get the impression that Disney want to sell it. And said that they should bring back Tables in Wonderland, which was a true money saver. I don't know what that was. Can you enlighten me?
It was a program before the pandemic where Disney would allow annual pass holders to sign up for basically a dining savings card. And you would present your Tables in Wonderland card at select sit-down restaurants, bars and lounges. And the savings varied from, I think, 10 to 20%, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less.
That's
some
right.
attraction, or some restaurants weren't participatory. But yeah, it was basically it was a dining discount card for annual pass holders. And it was widely beloved.
It was. I mean, it prompted so many people to, to the effect of, let's go over to property and have dinner, and I, from what I heard from restaurant staffers, they genuinely hated when Disney decided to make it go away. It drove a lot of traffic to, particularly table service, there on property.
Wow.
And that's the one thing I'm mildly surprised about with everything we've heard about the slowdown in sit-down dining in Disney World restaurants. They could fill those empty seats with annual pass holders, and it's a choice not to do that. I would love to see the math behind that choice, because you know that there's math involved.
Oh, gotta be.
Somebody get Len the spreadsheet.
I know.
All right. We're still on the reservation system, though, for parks, right? Is that still the case at Walt Disney World? I forget.
Annual pass holders, yes.
Okay.
But annual pass holders are, and they're, sometimes yes, sometimes no. I think mostly yes, right, still.
You got to wonder if that factors into the equation.
Mm.
We had a nice selection of comments. I'm going to bash through a few. RD Ryan says he only used the Disney dining plan before the times of 2018-2019 and knew that they wasted several credits buying Rice Krispie treats on the way out, but they liked having it all paid for up front. And similar to me, also Erin Kippen said that the value was not about the value for them was not about the money, but about not stressing about bills throughout the vacation and being able to say yes to their kids. You want a $6 ice cream bar? Sure, have it. So they tried not doing the math up front and just enjoyed Disney sort of being all-inclusive, which is a good way. Flute Garden used it once and said it stressed them out trying to maximize the snack credit and then didn't use them at the beginning, so then decided to waste them on lollipops at the end. It was too stressful. And Kerry Lux made a good comment here about the dining plan, and they were staying in two separate rooms and got the deluxe dining plan on the room with more kids in it. And that was back when the deluxe dining plan, all the credits were mingled and you couldn't tell the difference between an adult and a child. So got amazing use out of it. And that's the thing, right? I was looking at this. Obviously, when I used dining plan, I had my kids who were under 10, so they had the kids dining plan, which isn't a huge difference in cost to the adults dining plan, but they only got stuff from the kids menu. And I'm assuming there's a way where you could just say your kid's slightly older and therefore get the adult dining plan if they want to dine off the adult menu and get better use of it, but you can't mingle those credits anymore. They're very much tied.
That's really interesting, because I think if your child is in My Disney Experience, you have their age, so you would have to create another account, another MDE account for your child, bump them up to be age 10, and then link it. I don't think Disney really cares one way or the other, right? If you've got, let's say your kid is 8, right, but eats like a 10-year-old, or you want the adult dining credits. What?
Yeah, just pay for those, right?
Why? Yeah, your tickets would be more expensive too.
Yes, everything is slightly more expensive, so then I suppose you've got to run the math.
Yeah, I think that's where the issue is. Yeah.
Absolutely, but that's ingenious how Kerry Lux used the plan. I love that.
So moving on, we then talked about Butterbeer. Len, you weren't here for our Butterbeer episode. Can you tell us, what's your favourite Butterbeer, Len?
Actually, my favorite Butterbeer is the Butterbeer crepes at La Café de la Soren in Battle at the Ministry in Epic Universe. It's the least sweet version of Butterbeer, and I think it's the best by a wide margin. Like that's I would eat all of that, probably less politely than if I'm in public. Like if I had a supply of those at home. Yeah.
I'm planning a trip to Epic this spring, so I'm very much got my eyes on those crepes. So the people have spoken on the poll. 46% agree with me that frozen is the best form of butterbeer. 27% say cold, i.e. regular. 27% say hot. 20% say ice cream. 9% say other. 6% say crepe. 2% say fudge. And 2% say potted cream.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know there was Butterbeer fudge.
You can get it in the Butterbeer fudge shop, which I believe you'll find inside, what is it, Honeydukes? I think they've got the fudge.
Yeah, they're in Hogsmeade. Now, Jeff, he shared that his favorite variety of butterbeer is frozen. He tried the regular version after drinking the frozen exclusively for years and hated it. It felt it was too bitter and it was hard to get the foam with each swig to sweeten it up. But interestingly, Jeff's hot take is that LeFou's brew is better than regular butterbeer, and so automatically we know that Jeff had a head injury as a child, and he
I was going to say, does Jeff like haggis? I mean, what?
Well, there we go. But he also gets blue milk at least once per trip. It's not the best drink, but it is refreshing and exotic in a Star Warsian way without being gross. On the other hand, the green milk is just too flowery for Jeff.
I quite like that blue milk as well. I thought it was a little refreshing kick. And interestingly, Jeff then kindly put another poll up where he asked people their favourite drinks between butterbeer, blue and green milk, Night Blossom from Pandora, and LeFou's brew. 75% of people went butterbeer, 10% blue and green milk, 6% Night Blossom in Pandora in Avatar, and 3% LeFou's brew, 6% said other. I won't go into all the others. There are a lot of quite interesting drinks, including the Flaming Moe's in that list.
Oh, okay.
The people who prefer the blue and green milk. I guess you must really, really like either floral or fruit flavors in drinks a lot. The floral one, which I think is the green one, is definitely way too flowery for me too. So I'm like Jeff in that. It's almost off-putting.
It's like drinking
soap. It's not my favorite thing at all. Yeah, it was like rose. It was like drinking rose soap. Yeah.
I would argue if you went back into the formative years of these individuals who like blue and green milk. These were the kids who ate paste. All right, I'm just saying. All right, just sort of like, oh boy, a big glass of house paint. This is for me. It's like,
Lola Bear actually said that she likes the beginning fruitier taste of the green, but then the perfume taste hits right after, and she does not like that one bit. And on Butterbeer, loves the original and has tried everything, and didn't enjoy the fudge, but likes all the others.
Yeah. I think the crepe is where it's at, we'll say.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you know when I try it in April. Or as I'm calling it, crepe-roll. It sort of works.
Crepe-roll.
That's great. Okay.
I'm printing the t-shirts now.
They always tell you there's a catch, a compromise, an asterisk. Terms apply. See store for details. Maybe less than advertised. May vary by mood. Probably. Sprite Zero Sugar? It's different. It's the lemon lime flavored refreshment you want with zero sugar. So, no fast voice? No caveats. Just refreshment. This is Sprite Zero Sugar. Obey your thirst.
Chris, we also did a poll for New Year's Eve in the parks, right? Based on our show about that.
We did, yeah. We got loads of great feedback on this, and particularly from people who went this year. Heather Knoll, who has kindly got in touch yet again, went to Hollywood Studios for New Year's Eve and put some pictures in Victorian Plan forums showing it fairly, fairly busy, but quite nicely busy, I would say. And Heather then argued that going to Magic Kingdom on the 30th and Hollywood Studios on the 31st gets you two hits for the price of one, because you would get the fireworks at Magic Kingdom on the 30th, the kind of sort of dress rehearsal, and then you can enjoy Hollywood Studios. And they were saying that they had a great time at Hollywood Studios. They got good use of their multi-pass when they got on the Lightning Lane as well, because they got longer in the park because of it. There were loads of extras. There was a Frank Sinatra cover band. Pixar Place Dance Party was in full swing. There was a Tip Top Club. There was a glass of reasonably priced champagne as well that they enjoyed at midnight. There was Galaxy's Edge had random characters till late. There's some droids around. They did Phantasmic 2 or 3 times throughout the day. And the fireworks weren't much, but perfect. And it was a great place to spend New Year's Eve, which wasn't quite so busy. It was great from Heather. That looks like a good shout for next year. Well, this year, I suppose now, isn't it?
Yeah, this year. There we go. I love the idea of a Frank Sinatra cover band for New Year's Eve. I think that's appropriate. But the thing about the reasonably priced glass of champagne is interesting, because for Jollywood Nights as well, the bubbly I think we paid like $6.50 for a glass, and I'm sure it was not top quality stuff, but like a drink at Disney World under $7 seems like a bargain to me, and I think Heather's agreeing with us here.
I have paid that much just for soda. It's just sort of
exactly.
Alcoholic beverage. Wow. Okay. Yes, I'm there.
Felice got in touch saying they had the oddball, and that if they were in the bubble tonight, they'd be in Magic Kingdom as Cinderella's castle is there, Times Square. They were there in 1991, again in 2012, but not anymore because of marathon weekends. They says it's crazy and it's a mass of humanity and there's long lines for everything. But I go expecting this and therefore have a great fun time, and it eventually works out as a win.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, it's one of those things you should do once, and I think it's different than Times Square, because Times Square lacks bathrooms, whereas Disney World, you can eventually still get into one. So it's still easier than Times Square. Yeah. So for people who've done it recently, what else did they say, Chris?
Well, actually, quite a few people are big fans of Epcot at New Year's. Grammy DP4, the fourth of the DP Grammys, loves a bit of Epcot at New Year. MK Muzzy said they went to Epcot with their sons for New Year, and they remember that her husband stayed at home because he was a bit unwell. And they don't remember much about the fireworks, but what they do remember is the crowd of people leaving the park afterwards, and was very thankful that her eldest son was tall and could spot him in the crowd well ahead of her.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the very thing she refers to, the end of the night, the exodus from the park. In fact, that's one of those moments where, if you've managed to plan ahead and can say it's the boardwalk or the yacht and beach club, you are basically, now mind you, you're fighting upstream, to get to the International Gateway. But dear Lord, that sea of humanity, when they all begin to leave the park to go back to their cars, and then the drive out when you're in that sea of traffic, that can be a bear, but and can kind of put a damper on the end of your evening. But on the other hand, again, you got to do a sea of humanity event at one point in your life, and again, do it a place where the bathrooms are convenient.
Yeah, where there's snacks and bathrooms. Yeah.
A few people mentioned the big secret is New Year's Day, where everyone who's been out on New Year's Eve is having a lie-in, and the early morning's nice and empty.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic.
We'll have a quick look at the results then. I would like to try New Year's Eve at Walt Disney World once. Was the winner of the poll at 43%, and I will never go got 31%. The other options were I've been to Walt Disney World on New Year's Eve and would do it again at 16%. Other 7%. I've been to Walt Disney World on New Year's Eve and would not do it again is only 3%.
That's amazing. Five times as many people, more than 5 times as many people would have been there and would do it again. I guess this is like having a second kid. That wasn't so bad.
We still got some clothes in the corner. It'll be fine.
Exactly. You know what? We've done this once. We know what we're doing this time.
Okay.
So then we also talked about park entrances. Jim and I discussed them. Jim told me some great facts about the history of some of them. Len, you weren't here again for that week. Very lazy. What's your favourite park entrance? It gave us a lot of debate this in the forums.
So the classic one is the Magic Kingdom. I would say probably my favorite right now is Animal Kingdom, the Oasis specifically, because not only are there 2 paths you can go by, like Led Zeppelin said, but there's that bridge that you can walk over to get to the downhill slope into Discovery Island, and I love that little swinging bridge as a way to start my morning.
Jan Amelia agreed with you, actually, who said, walking is not automatic for me, involving paying attention to posture as much as anything, but Animal Kingdom stands above the other 3 main entrances for ease, flat and short distance to the security and tap styles, and then into the park. They've not been stopped for a bag check, and it's uphill, yes, with nothing to look at, but when one is moving slowly, there is actually lots to see, which is really true, actually. I always notice it on the way out, all those little animal habitats that I avoid in the morning as I'm battling through. For them, number 2, second best for flat and short is Hollywood Studios, and the worst is Magic Kingdom because of the tunnel. And they say Epcot is a main entrance is a long way from the bus and the monorail station. So yeah, if you've got mobility issues, those are quite a long way.
Huh, that's interesting.
Oh, and they also remembered they love the planting beds at the entrance plaza, and remembers in 1986, Florida got a big freeze in February, and a whole orange groves dived, and the planting beds at Epcot were very sad, but crews were busy replanting within days.
They're not wrong. In fact, we're about to have a scary bout of weather in the American South, and hugely cold temperatures. So we could see 86 revisited this year. So
wow,
yeah. There were actually freeze warnings in Orlando this past week. They with temperatures in the mid 30s. So water parks closed. I'm sure water rides off at that point. Yeah, interesting.
Oh, I am literally flying tomorrow as we record this out to Miami. So I'm currently checking the weather going, I sort of only packed T-shirts. Maybe I should stick a sweater or 2 in.
Yeah, a romper probably a good idea.
Or a Parker.
Yeah.
A Colonel Tom. Is Colonel Tom Parker? Is that the guy?
Yeah, I got it.
I got it. I applaud the
You gave it all it
reference.
deserved.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bay Loftus jumped in and said that they saw a video of Tokyo Disney Sea's Fantasy Springs entrance, which totally took their breath away and needs to go there. Epcot's entrance and Hollywood Studios took her main votes, or his main votes. I don't know. Epcot's entrance makes them want to cry. Pretty and uplifting. All I need is a Fountain of Nations, and it would be the perfect park.
It's Fountain of Nations wasn't quite at the entrance, but yeah, and I love the redo of the center part of Future World. I do think it needs a water feature. 100% with you on this one. B. Loftus.
A few people actually mentioned about the International Gateway entrance at Epcot, of course, the sort of secret second entrance, and liking. In fact, Dr. Villarejos, I'm definitely saying that wrong. Sorry, Doctor. My apologies to you and your PhD. But they think, they love the fact that Epcot has 2 park entrances and thinks every park should have them. Where would you put another park entrance in another park if you could? Maybe in Hollywood Studios, you could put one down by Tower of Terror?
Well, what's interesting is, we just had a listener enthuse about the Fantasy Springs entrance at, Tokyo Disney Seas, I want to say. And what's fascinating about that is, there has been evidently some discussion in regard to Villains Land and Piston Peak about, in much the same style as Fantasy Springs. It's like if you dropped a hotel back there, and then you then put an entrance in the back of that park for the guests staying at that hotel, that this would potentially open things up. And to bring things full circle, people need to remember that there was a time that the Tower of Terror was actually supposed to be a part of an actual hotel, Disney's haunted hotel, where guests could have stayed at the studios and then basically walked out the back door of the hotel and have been among the first to go to the condemned wing of the hotel and ride the Tower of Terror.
I was watching Behind the Attraction on Disney Plus recently, actually, on the Tower of Terror episode, where they talked about that, and then they realized that it was going to be too loud for anyone staying in the hotel, right?
Well, there's that.
Yeah, the soundproofing challenges alone, yeah. I 100% think that before we get to the end of this current phase of construction, after Villains Land and Piston Peak are built, I 100% think we're getting a Magic Kingdom adjacent DVC, slash cash hotel. 100%. The one that I would love to see built, though, would be a separate park entrance in Pandora, in Animal Kingdom, with a walking path over to the Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Yeah, how close are they?
Half a mile. It's roughly the distance from the Poly to the Magic Kingdom, or the TTC to the Magic Kingdom. It's walkable. I've done it, right? But it would alleviate a bunch of car and bus traffic coming from those resorts, because guests would walk if they could. And number 2, it would give you a really nice way to get out of the park other than the main entrance as well. So Pandora's pretty at night.
And I suppose it gives the opportunity as well to open that part of the park open at night, because I've always seen the photos of the bioluminescent stuff and I've never seen it in real life because it's always closed before dark. So if there was an entrance exit there, they could close down the rest of the park and use that for an evening experience. You
need to come in December, Chris, when it's dark at 4:00, and then you could.
You went recently, right? You went.
I did. Animal Kingdom is Laurel's favorite park, so we spent a lot of time there at night, and we specifically made one trip there just to go at night, and the walking paths are beautiful. I mean, obviously the safari shuts down. I think it was like the last one was at 4:15. All the animal exhibits and trails were done by like 4:30 or 4:45 because it was getting dark at like 5:15. Yeah, but it's a lovely park at night. It's really, really well done.
Shall I wrap up with the poll for these? Can you have a guess what came in first at 59%?
Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, Magic Kingdom came in first. Yeah. Epcot in second at 42%, Disneyland Anaheim third at 28%, then Animal Kingdom 26%, Hollywood Studios 21%, California Adventure 11%, Disneyland Paris 9%, Tokyo Disney Sea 7%. And there was also a high percentage scoring for, I'm not familiar with the International Park / other at 47%. So go trawl through the forum if you want to finding out what those others were.
There we go.
We can't get to all of your comments, but thank you very much for sending them in. Please keep them coming for any of our future episodes. We love to hear what you have to say. You can pop it on the forum at forum.touringplans.com, or you can email us or get in touch via the social medias, the usual ways.
There we go. And with that, this special listener email edition of the Case 4 with Chris Cox has come to a close. Thanks for sending all those messages along. In 2 weeks' time, we will be back with a brand new episode of this podcast where theme park expert Len Testa and mind reader Chris Cox will then debate yet another aspect of vacationing at Walt Disney World.
So we're free to go now?
Well, you are. Mr. Cox, if you could please stay behind for a moment.
Why? Why, Your Honor?
Well, because of my duties with the Judicial Officers Department, they've lent me one of those cool little postal carts to tool around in, and I was kind of hoping you could give me a few tips about what's involved with driving when the steering wheel's on the wrong side of the dashboard.
Yeah, I can help with that, but you're going to have to put on your big boy pants first.
It's a date!
Don't say that.
And with that, another session here in these hallowed halls, the court of the Disney World Resort, has now come to a close. This has been the less than honorable James Robespierre Hill. Thanks for listening, and we will be back soon.